The Avs make a sneaky good signing as they snag a player off the college free agency list and give him a 2-year entry-level contract in hopes that he can develop into a strong defensive player in the NHL and continue to help the Avalanche grow with depth and skill in the near future. We're going to break down everything surrounding this signing for the Avs, where the potential idea to sign this player came from, as well as how it's going to potentially benefit the Avs both short-term and long-term, right here today on Avalanche Digest. Welcome in, everybody. So happy to be here, breaking down all things Colorado Avalanche hockey. As everyone knows, we are deep into the offseason. It's August 18th. It is almost time for NHL season again. October cannot come any sooner. I personally cannot wait to see the Avs back on the ice, playing every other day. I'm ecstatic for hockey season to be coming back, but we are still in the off season, and that means we have to continue to stay in the loop of everything going on in the world of the Colorado Avalanche, including this signing that happened that we're going to break down today. So before we dive into breaking down this signing, I want to make sure to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to Avs Digest, we are just under 40 subscribers away from hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark. So close to that huge milestone. And in order to get to that milestone, that 79% of you guys right there, we need you guys to help us out. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, it takes 5 seconds. Just exit out of the video, hit that subscribe button, give us that support. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys all so much for your daily support. We can't thank you enough. And without further ado, let's dive into this signing. Alex Gagne, the captain of the University of New Hampshire, spent all 4 years of his collegiate hockey career at the University of New Hampshire. Just wrapped up his senior season as of 3 days ago. He was eligible to sign with any team in the NHL as a college free agent, and the Colorado Avalanche snag him off the CFA market and ink him into a 2-year entry-level contract within the Avalanche organization. He's a left shot defenseman, played 4 years, as I said, at the University of New Hampshire, and he's the reigning captain of the University of New Hampshire, so has that leadership aspect tied to him as well. So let's talk a little bit about this guy and just kind of what he has to offer and what he's going to hopefully bring to the Colorado Eagles, and then potentially even moving all the way up to the Avalanche. So Gagne, he's 23 years old, served as the team captain, like I said, during this last senior season at UNH in the 2024-25 season. Had a career-high 17 points out of all 4 years playing at UNH. This was the highest points that he had during his collegiate career. 4 goals and 13 assists in 35 appearances on the season. Paced all-team defensemen in scoring and also finished 4th on the team overall in assists with that 13 assist mark. And all of this led to his selection to the Hockey East 3rd All-Star team. And, you know, he's a New Hampshire native, spent all 4 seasons with the Wildcats, so in his hometown, playing for his hometown college. Totaled 48 points in his entire collegiate career, 7 goals and 41 assists total. He went 3 straight 1-goal seasons, his freshman, his sophomore, and his junior year, respectively, and then had that career high in goals last year, 4 goals to give him 7 overall, all in 139 career collegiate contests at UNH. Gagne had career highs throughout his junior season in 2023-24 in games played and assists, and then he once again tied that again this year, 13 assists last year, 13 assists this year. And then his junior season earned Hockey East 3rd All-Star recognition as well, being named to the New England All-Star team. So a lot of talent in this left shot defenseman. Former sixth round pick for the Tampa Bay Lightning all the way back in 2021 in his early days of playing college at UNH. But, you know, after being drafted by Tampa Bay, they never inked him into an entry-level contract. He never got that start in the professional world of hockey with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then 4 years after him being drafted to Tampa Bay, as of August 15th, he became eligible to sign with any other team because his priority to sign with Tampa, his ability to sign with Tampa, was taken away after that 4-year cutoff. That's just kind of how the draft works and how things work with college players who get drafted and then don't end up going to play in the NHL, AHL, etc. all right away, essentially. So yeah, 6'5" left-handed defenseman. We talked about his stats already: 4 goals, 17 points last season in the NCAA. So very strong left-hand defenseman. I like this take here from this X post. Has the same trajectory as like a Sam Malinsky type of player. He did well in college. He has that leadership tied to him. He was a really strong left-hand defenseman. 6'4", 210 pounds, 6'4", 6'5", whatever you want to say. I guess some people have some different thoughts about how tall he is. But at that height and weight, he's a big, strong kid who can probably play very efficient offense, probably strong with, puck handling and shooting and passing, making plays up at the blue line. But, at 210 pounds and 6 foot, over 6 foot, that is, that's the kind of guy who can lay some heavy hits, do really well on the forecheck, do really well on the back check, and just play all over the ice and have a really efficient style of hockey. And so if Gagné is able to come into this organization, thrive with the Avs, more specifically thrive with the Eagles, kind of playing in that early AHL spot. And then something that, I've noticed about the Avs over the last few years, and I think something that most Avs fans know, they do a lot of, bouncing people back and forth from the AHL and the NHL, especially with, the injury plague that they've had over the last few years. So with that in mind, Gagné may have some opportunities, throughout his AHL season coming up to bounce up and down and, potentially get some, 3-line D, 3-pair D reps in and, play a little bit of defense on the actual NHL team. And then, of course, there's the preseason in which he'll probably get ample opportunity to potentially prove that he can be a reliable left shot defenseman to pull up and play when the Avs need more defensive help throughout the season. So, very exciting to consider, just another young, really strong prospect in the organization. Like we said, it's that 2-year entry-level contract, $910,000 cap hit. Year one, he's on a $775,000 league minimum salary, and then the next year, that bumps up to $850,000. So originally drafted 192nd overall by Tampa in 2021. Little bit of a full circle moment for him to, get all the way to the end of that term with not signing with Tampa Bay, and then signs with the Colorado Avalanche. Anyways, potentially it's in the back of his mind that Tampa went back-to-back Stanley Cup final championships in 2020 and 2021, and then the Avs were the team to shut them down. So maybe he's, absolutely stoked to be with the organization that, recently came off a very strong cup run and continues to have a very strong chance at making a really deep run in the playoffs. So just, one more quick breeze over some other statistics during his entire collegiate career. Obviously, we talked about his junior and his senior seasons, the 13 assists both years, and then the 1 goal and then the 4 goals. You look at the 2021 and the 2022 season. So 33 and 35 games played, 1 goal, 7 assists, 1 goal, and 8 assists. I really like the fact that those assist numbers went up by, 5 or 6 in just about the same amount of games played. That means that he really started to click on that offensive side of, playing that offensive style of defense in which he can find ways to help his team score, find ways to make plays happen with the puck in the offensive zone, and then, continuing to, develop as a player in regard to him getting, some leadership roles. And you look at, his progression of leadership throughout his time at UNH. No role, obviously, his freshman year, but then got an A his 2022-23 season, his sophomore year. And then junior and senior year, wore the C for a really strong program, University of New Hampshire. So that, that shows a lot about his character. And you want somebody who has as much grit and willingness to work hard and, desire to get better. That's the kind of thing that you want in a player besides, pure skill. So to see him having that 3 years of captain leadership, 2 years of wearing the C and having that head captain role for UNH, that's super awesome, super exciting stuff for the Avs to get this guy. And then just really quickly to glance at our D pairings and imagine how Gagné might mix in here, barring any sort of a scenario where, one of these 6 guys is injured or there's some sort of a bump up and down for the AHL and the NHL. But, potentially to see him playing with some of these bottom 4 defensemen, Sam Girard, Josh Manson, Sam Malinsky. Those are the 3 guys that I've got my eyes on. Like him and Sam Malinsky on a line or on a D pairing, barring him coming up and playing for the Avs, that could be disgusting. Like 2 young, tall, heavy hitting guys who have a really strong shot and know how to shoot the puck and know how to play up at the blue line on defense. It could be big for the Avs, and it could help them, squeak out some wins and get some points throughout the season to help them thrive in the Central Division. So another signing from Chris MacFarland and the Avs during this offseason. Not obviously like the biggest blockbuster thing for the Avs, but still notable that MacFarland and Sakic are staying active in the offseason. They're keeping their eye on the free agent board. They're keeping their eye on the college prospect board. And they do exactly that here by signing the 6'5", 210 left shot defenseman captain at University of New Hampshire, Alex Gagne. So exciting stuff for the Avs as we continue to crawl our way through the end of the offseason. Folks, I'm counting down the days until we have Avs hockey back again. It is going to be electric seeing the boys hit the ice in early October. I absolutely cannot wait. Thank you guys, as usual, for tuning in to Avs Digest. We appreciate it. And any new news around the Avs, we will be covering it and posting it right here on Avs Digest. So make sure that you stay tuned and remember to subscribe as well. Cheers, everybody.